Hello friends. On the occasion of just having entered a whole new chapter in Earth's history, on the 27th of January, when Jupiter and Saturn formed an exact square in the heliocentric geometry, I want to give you some deeper insights into the Jupiter-Saturn cycle, which is a 20-year cycle. Jupiter and Saturn are the two giant planets of our solar system. Here in this beautiful illustration you see the exact to scale proportions of each planet. You see Jupiter and Saturn are definitely the heavyweights compared to Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and then Uranus and Neptune. And if we go to the next planets, which would be Pluto, for example, you see Pluto is so small in comparison. See, still, this is exactly to scale. So Jupiter and Saturn take 20 years to come back to a conjunction, and I have prepared this for you here to see quickly how this goes. This is November the 2nd, 2020, when they last met. Actually, this was just the fourth night of these elections in the United States, which you probably remember, where things really got topsy-turvy and everything went in a direction nobody really saw coming. So this often happens around these dates when these conjunctions and the squares, oppositions happen, that big world events take place which really shift the focus of history in a new direction. So let me just quickly show you this. I show you every 10 months you see how Jupiter moves ahead, and then after roughly 5 years it's forming its first square, which is, as I said, the 27th of January. We will look at this chart in a second video. Just now I want to give you the basic insights and the importance, really underline this, of this cycle. You see, as we keep going, after 10 years pretty exactly we will be in the opposition, which will be in fall of 2030, which again opens a new chapter, a new scene in this movie, in this play. And then in the year 2035 roughly, again in fall, we will have the final square. And then if we keep going here for another a little bit, then you see in the year 2040, in December actually, the next big round will start. So let me give you some basic insights into the Jupiter-Saturn cycle. It is every 200 years the conjunctions of these two planets move in a new element. So I have this lined up here. So it's the last time they met in Earth was between the years 800 to 1000, and then from 1000 to 1200 all the conjunctions which you see here lined out in green were in the Earth element. Then the first one in air comes 1186, and we get back into Earth once more, which always happens. It's kind of that overlapping. Then the last time in that sense the Earth element was pronounced was between 1200 and 1400. Then here comes the water element the first time in. It's an 800-year cycle basically of the four elements between 1400 and 1600, all conjunctions in the water, and then from 1600s into the 1800s, into 18, pretty much 1800 is the fire element, and then that is what we just come out of the last 200 years of earth element pronounced, which, as we all know, was a very materialistic time. We have experienced that to really to the painful truth of greed and all of that, which definitely we have reached an extreme level. And in 1980, the first time the two giant planets met in the element air in Libra. This was a big change. All of those who are old enough to have experienced that will definitely remember the decades. The 80s and the 90s were very forward looking, full of hope, full of great new ideas. And then came the year 2000. We went back once more into Earth, and it got all dark again, and we had to really catch up with a review of whatever has been wrong in this world. And since 2020 we are in the new element of air for good up into the year 2199, and then again it moves on into water. So this gives you the greater picture, and naturally each chart of these exact conjunctions tells the story of what the theme will be in a 20-year period. In a separate video we will look at what this 20-year period is all about, and then focusing on what the next 5 years are gonna be about in particular. So the conjunction always sets the theme, and then the first square, which we just reached, is when the confrontation really kicks in high gear. That is the first square, that is the confrontation, the intense interaction, the bend or break phase. And then as we get into the opposition, we get into the negotiation phase, and then okay, and then the final 5 years, which in this round will be around 2035 starting. That is then the integration phase, where we go full circle to complete a theme we started in 2020 with a new round. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you for being here, and stay tuned. I will get into all these little videos going deeper into these individual charts, which really show you that history is anchored in these Jupiter-Saturn cycles. That's where the themes are set, where a new story is coming into play, a new recreation, a new generation, something new is being birthed. And then as we get into these different chapters of this story, we go a level up each 5 years. Thank you for being here. Talk to you soon.